be just single digits for complexity, both maps.
Alrighty, well, let's find out. They're starting on the CT side. We discussed this earlier as well yesterday, that typically it's their T side that they show the most promise on, and they're incredibly strong T side at Cloud9. So you have to feel that complexity are going to have to pick up a whole bunch of rounds if they want to keep this one relatively competitive. Just a smoke on Skadoodle, who changed his name again. I think he had his name backwards yesterday, didn't he? He was like Ella.
Yeah, El Dudska, El Dudax.
Yeah.
We have Audi, Stu, and Ska. And Stu in this spot, I don't know if it's going to be cleared. Looks like it will be. No movements have been made. Just allowing the shooting gallery to occur with the Glocks.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a shooting range down there. He was able to get 2 kills. Bomb's going to get planted, so complexity, all things in perspective, not too shabby around. Ape and Surreal will be firm underdogs to get anything else done in this round, but the bomb plant gives them options going through. Skadoodle will pick up 8. Surreal runs out of bullets. Down he will go. So 3 kills for Skadoodle. It's a nice little boost in terms of confidence, in terms of a little bit of bank balance going his way. Cloud9 will pick up the first round.
Typically, oppers are also on average, I think the better or best pistol players on your team, just because they have to fall back on their pistols all the time, so are quite used to the pressure of having to use them, as well as just having to shoot them more often. So, in terms of, I mean, Ska's impact on pistols in the last 2 days have been fantastic. It's like average 2 or 3 kills, it seems, which is a crazy stat for pistol rounds to find those kills. One thing I have praised about complexity is they do have a plan for ecos, and they here have picked up 3 smokes. Ape is going to be throwing one, and then peeking that lower area, but Stewie has gotten in his face. And they won't even be able to use these. What a spray from automatic. 3 kills instantly. Cloud9 up 2-0.
Yeah, in style too. Over these 2 rounds, we've only lost 1 player, and that was Stu. Mr. Stewie 2K, Mr. Youthful Stew, and that's going to be complexity onto a buy with AKs. Surreal is going to be following suit with an AK of his own. Interestingly, yesterday I think complexity were picking up scouts as well.
They have no smokes whatsoever, and this is a situation where, like last map we saw Gabi and Legia were both pretty selfless in that they bought like a FAMAS, a UMP, and then they picked up full grenades so that they would have some utility. Here we don't have any like. We don't have a single smoke would you get diminishing results the more smoke you have, but 1 smoke, like that seems quintessential to winning a round. I mean, you can do a walkout drive, but even in the afterplant, having a smoke would be useful. Here and here, because of their low money, they're going to be walking out, and the 2 entries come instantly. So, all right. I will shut my mouth.
I suppose Cloud9 would have been expecting the smoke though, right? Like, maybe that in itself mind gamed in how Cloud9. Automatic, last remaining counter-terrorist, has already picked up 1 on his endeavor. Make that a second, down to 46. And I think being tagged down to 46 pretty much makes this decision easier for him. He will be trying to save.
Yeah. Looks like Android had spotted him. Yeah, and a couple of good kills. I mean, the no-tells helped him out. The walkout helped him out, but what's happening here? We have I don't think he realizes how close he was. Automatic smelled blood, and spotted from Z, but not gonna have to get the kill. Also stays alive with the health that he does. Damage is dealt, and here it is. Do we have the 2 kills coming out? Oh no, this is a spray through the smoke actually. How did? Oh my god! Oh, that's so lucky. Wow. That is just so lucky.
Last bullet, literally, almost curving around the wall, wanted style.
Yeah, wanted style.
Complexity, full AKs again. This time Skadoodle will have an AWP. Those are earlier frags in the pistol. And the second round certainly helping out the funds. Full nades too, so he is not wanting for anything at this point. Shroud holding down with the FAMAS. Also, yesterday, when we saw him on train, was using the secondary AWP over an Ivy. It's a pretty solid effect. Stewie also picked it up. So a team of very versatile players at Cloud9. Molly through, 3 players going to be following it for complexity, and Shroud looking for the flash into the peak. That is not going to land, and it's going to cost him his life. And now, judging from where Cloud9, very centralized defense. Ivy being open this way is going to cause him a lot of issues. It's down to automatic, then I'll put down some damage, and I think he landed a headshot on an Android afterwards. on the retreat. The fadeaway double tap nearly pulls off 2 sick frags. Instead, it's a 3-on-2 in favor of Cloud9, very much thanks to automatic.
Oh, Ape comes away with the first kill. Skadoodle there to trade. And now Ape in a 1v2 tosses his only piece of utility. And wow, Stewie actually gets really aggressive on him. Wouldn't have expected that to happen. I don't think Ape did either. And it ends up being a fruitful decision. Now Cloud9, or Complexity, are very low on money. And here's the Spider-Man climb down with the bounce up into the air. And yeah, right here, boom, actually does dink him.
Pretty mad, isn't it? So flashed on the retreat. Just double taps, lands one of them on the head. And they finish off from there on out. Complexity, after losing, are into another eco. 3 Deagles, 2 P250s, and there is Def with the first kill. Nothing's been flashed, he will be found and fragged from Ape. That opens up 2 areas that could be exploited from Complexity, and I like that Stewie's gone aggressive as a result. He's almost forced into this, his hand is forced.
Are they watching this though?
I think they are, but it's an AK up against pistols. Look at that movement as well, just jumping straight up on the back. That is beautiful, Stewie.
Oh man, that was great. Yeah, just very smooth moves there. I mean, not the most difficult jump to do, but to do it under pressure in a match and then just like kind of right away without having to take a step back. Like, I want to make this jump.
Yeah, the clarity of mind to make that on the spur of the moment. Like, I'm going to go back in for the second kill.
Definitely.
That's so well played.
Great stuff. And yeah, just jumping for it. Boom, beautiful.
See, Ape had no idea what was coming at him. Just turned towards the end. Stewie will dome the second player. Complexity with another round of limited buy. So, yeah, almost 2 ecos in a row. It's fairly rare you'll see that on the T side. That's pretty rough.
Mm-hmm. Stu exploring kind of both those resources, or main resources, immediately. I'm not ever spotting all that much and on the eco. So 2-3 is going to be the play for Cloud9. It's pretty much all you have to do. Def has managed to walk out to E-box. It's not necessarily that much control. He did hit that sick 1D last round, which he switched off it, but you could tell. That was a nutter one. That was a nutty one. And oh my gosh, it actually just pushed right up to Shroud here. And there it is. Nothing's got to explain that one to Shroud.
Surreal and Uber. P250s in a smoke. Do have the bomb. And looking like they are interested on the A side. Both positioned to actually get this plant down. Of course, they don't know that it's more of a passive defense, and Cloud9 don't have someone in Ivy just yet, although Automatic is making moves and inroads towards that position. 30 seconds now. Uber is going to go for the plant, and he will get away with this.
Does Surreal have any? Oh my, he doesn't have any armor, but he still gets that headshot right away, tries to fall back, but because of it, ends up dying. Good rotate in from Automatic. Cloud9 seal up that round. Little to no friction. Allowing the bomb to go down, however, so Complexity, I think we're going to end up buying anyway because of the double save, but now have an uberly supplemented income.
Both teams opting for the AWP. We could potentially have 2 agents, by the way, Uber and Android 006.
Oh, wow. Both of them haven't gotten a kill yet. Wow.
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it. And I think so far we've seen that 1 rifle round, but apart from that, there hasn't been another one. So at the very least, they've only had 1 round where they've had rifles to get kills, if there's one thing to say in their defense so far. But here's another one. Here's another chance.
Uber currently playing box hall side with Android Ivy going in first. Are we going to have a bond on the server? Android is not going to be able to get anything done. Shroud with the first one. Def is going to be pushing out by himself. It's going to be gifting lives away to Shroud, who is a turret in these kind of situations. Def is going to get a frag, though. It surprises me that nothing would give his back to that location when Shroud was holding more of a passive angle. Amazing. That grenade does quite a bit of damage to both Surreal and Def. But they're not going to push out in retaliation just yet. Now Shroud goes in for a second frag. Will be rotating back into Ivy after running away. Could play hell with the sound. Uber does come through, so he's not going to be landing the 007. The issue, though, for Complexity is a bit more important than the individuals, is that the team effort is capitulating.
Wow.
Shroud with another 2. He's on for the ace. He's going to whip out that USP. Can he land it? No, he can't. Stewie 2K comes in a second too late, but Cloud9 will pick up yet another round. It is at the cost of 3 lives, so it's keeping a couple of their players fairly low on funds. But 6-1 is certainly nothing to turn your nose up at. And what a performance by Shroud.
Yeah, what a great round. I mean, you could just see how he was poised at every moment. Even with X-ray on, it felt like, you know, he knew like how close his opponent was, like if he was going to be ready to peak, and just put himself in an advantageous angle throughout each of those moments, and then time the spam perfectly.
And perfectly timed it certainly was. Cloud9 from strength to strength. Complexity had a few moments of carnage. Cloud9 were struggling a little bit early on in this half. You thought maybe Complexity were going to start to string some rounds together. It's not really been too fruitful. Surreal down onto the Tech 9. Again, Shroud in an identical position to last time on Ivy. Going to be darting to and fro. This smoke could force him out onto the other side, plus the Molotov will allow Complexity to take a little bit of real estate for themselves up Ivy, but the Incendiary to counterbalance the push keeps them at bay. Now Shroud goes in, drops the bomb out, Ape is dead, and he would have had a solid showing of the other 2 players that were pushing, so that's a lot of information covered for Cloud9.
See, Shroud has kind of changed up his position at Ivy, and here's Automatic to pick up some of the slack as well, a couple of nice headshots. And there ended up being body kills, but dinks on both players, and 13 and 2 from Automatic. And as I tweeted, just like this time to point out that Automatic uses Twitch Prime sub on me.
I'm jelly.
And yeah, Shroud. So one of the criticisms was, I mean, it was versus Virtus Pro, who classically always stomp North American teams. Like, I once made a bet with Moses at LAN that Cloud9 were going to beat them. I can't remember what LAN it was. It was an MLG, and Virtus Pro won, even though Cloud9 were much better for him. And it's just Virtus Pro had this thing against Cloud9. So I think last time they played Train, Virtus Pro also a very good Train team, maybe made Cloud9 so scared at the time that they played super passively. You know, Shroud was playing by this by Help Train over and over again, and then just ended up forfeiting Ivy control and then dying. But here we see him now. Whenever he gets smoked out, he crosses through the smoke immediately to get information and comes back for more. What? Okay, I think Stewie got the luckiest headshot of all time. And then Molly's from the grave. Yeah.
Molly from the grave, Ape and Depth. Last 2. Ape is going to be coming through with the Tech 9, close range confrontation, and it's down to the Scout. Daph is doing quite the damage with the Scout. He actually wrecked TSM with this a few times with shots around corners, but nothing will not fall prey to the minimal investment. Complexity have another bite. Surreal surely going to be picking up an AWP for himself, but it just hasn't really been yielding too much. And for me, he was one of the players that would need to step up, and so far hasn't really been the case. Still, Android, a guy who played well last night, 009.
Yes, and he is definitely a tank in terms of aim. One of the best aimers. Definitely, I mean, I don't know what is actually holding him back. I mean, I don't really study him. Like, I only study kind of like, I guess, very top teams, and then keep an eye on some mid-tier, I guess, North American teams. But I've always known, like, he has been, even before he made Invite, just a stellar, like, outstanding player in terms of mechanics, like, incredible aim. So I'm not exactly sure what's holding him back, but here, obviously struggling.
As are all of Complexity, and 10 on the round count doesn't seem to be any different. Shroud has been holding his position by himself, often against 3 or 4 adversaries, and very well, but of course as soon as I say that, he will be picked up by the AK. As Depp goes in once again. 1-for-1 trade. Complexity have been able to really capitalize on these so far. They've been struggling to make the most of the little room they've been given. Automatic, who's been here before, will stave off the push. The hand placed firmly in the face of Complexity, and with the utility also landing, the bomb is not going to be getting through anytime soon. So they're hoping that both Ape and Surreal can make some headway on T-Main and force away from some of the TTs, but that's not going to happen either. Surreal missing out on a couple of shots, and he will play no further part of this round. 9-1, Cloud9, seemingly unbeatable at this stage.
I would just like this time to say, I don't know if it's going to be a buy or not. Oh, it's going to be a buy. I had a story to tell. about automatic in that situation. But maybe I could tell it quickly, depending on what they decide to do this round. But there was right there, Def threw a right-click smoke, or right-click flash, and then came out through the smoke, and automatic was already turned around. So there was actually a point when automatic was in Premier, and he was up and coming, and he played a match in a scrim, and he got cited as being a cheater because of this one play that was made, and it was somebody threw a flash into heaven in Beyond Cash, and he turned from it before the flash had caught into his vision, and everyone was like, "You cannot hear a flash with the pull. You cannot hear a flash's pull being pinned. That's just a client side noise, right?" But he heard it, and they did testing, and he found out at the time that if the person was above you, you could hear it, and so people thought he cheated when he was first kind of up and coming, way before TSM. But now there's another glitch. But here, let's focus on this round. Def has moved up, kind of close to sandwich, and might catch nothing off guard. Oh, good opportunity, and capitalizes. It's actually been an interplay this entire time. It's all a ruse.
Oh, yeah. Stewie, nearly. Molly has been thrown over, though. Automatic is going to get the spray onto Surreal. The bomb has still yet to be planted.
Yeah, because the Molly.
It's such a rough situation, allowing Automatic to move into position now. 40 seconds left. As Def will go down, leaving... Sorry, Def is all that remains, going down ramp. 33. Down he goes, and more of the same. Cloud9, 10-1 in the lead. Complexity after another buy. Well, they'll have a half buy at most.
And here's the second part of the story is right there. They were on the same plane, and he still turned from the flash. Well, for some reason, after a recent update, you're able to hear people pulling pins on grenades. I don't know if you've noticed, but sometimes that noise that you hear client side when you pull a grenade pin yourself, you can actually hear when other people do it, and that was not supposed to be something you could hear. And it's been a tell that, for some reason, has been introduced to the game after some recent update. And that's why he turned from that grenade and was able to, or flash was able to, and flashing through smokes is no longer safe.
It's a very interesting point that you raise, and certainly could be, for those uninitiated in the pro scene, could be a reason why some players are so fast on the trigger when it comes to these pushes. Ape and Surreal through Pop Dog with the bomb in hand on Ape. They're constantly getting kills. That's, I suppose, the frustrating thing for Complexity. It's not a case they're getting completely shut out with, 5 players left for Cloud9. Cloud9 have typically lost 1 or 2 each round. But it's been these kind of scenarios, these kind of clutches, these kind of 3-on-3 2v2s that have gone the way of Cloud9 consistently. And has not allowed Complexity to break the economy. Surreal is going to catch out Skadoodle. The op still in the hands of Stewie. 45 seconds left. Ape is in a pretty precarious position, especially now that his teammate and partner in crime has died. So he's going to go for that full-on plant. He's going to get pushed from Ivy's side. It's only a matter of time before he will be put down, I should say. And Shroud will be the man to administer the euthanasia. 11-1. As a result, the buy next round Complexity will be vying to try and get 4 rounds on this half, but I mean, the way it's been going on is it doesn't look likely. Yeah,
you mentioned euthanasia, something you would only implement if somebody was terminal, and you can't say that Complexity are necessarily terminal, but they're as close to it as possible in this matchup. They just they never really stood a chance, to be honest. And the best they've been doing has been able to get the bomb down. They've gotten into a couple of clutch situations, but they haven't, even in their variation of strategy, which they have been trying to implement different things, gotten to exploit any one area. Nothing has been easy for them.
It's been a constant, long, hard, grueling affair. Uber going out by himself. I suppose this is where desperation starts to come in. The incendiary is going to do significant damage onto the assailing team members. Def is going to come back with a kill of his own. And a second one with the up. So hold the phones for a second. Maybe there is going to be a crescendo of rounds for Complexity. Surreal bags himself a frag. Shroud next to fall. Stewie, is there a reason for him to save? There is so much money on the Cloud9 squad, and the way that Stewie plays, he's such an aggressive guy. He'll definitely fancy himself to get close to clutching this. So there's no signs of him slowing down. P250 headshot onto Android.
Full nade.
3 separate situations, and as you highlight, there are full grenades, but Surreal's AK is up to the task. And what's interesting there is Surreal, from the very get-go, Def had the op. He wasn't interested, so maybe he's just not feeling it right now.
Yeah, good point. I mean,
he's keeping it.
That's a great reason. That's a great reason to just give it up. I mean, if you just have to not be too proud, too proud to say that, like, I'm not feeling it today. And I think Def is a really easy person to talk to. Like, I've talked to him in person, and he just seems like... That was really funny. Okay. Yeah, Def is really easy to talk to. A really easygoing guy. I think he's probably a great teammate. And probably somebody that you'd feel very disarmed if you were to say... You'd feel very comfortable being like, listen, I'm not doing well today with the op. Like, do you want to handle it? I'm sure he'd just be like, yeah, sure, man.
Never a bad thing to have a player of his caliber that can pick it up and have a fresh take on AWPing. Because Surreal may be feeling a bit stale, a bit stagnant, not getting anything done. There's going to be a couple of flirtatious moments as Stewie nearly transfers the spray onto Uber. Androids going for that spray through the smoke. Again, the bomb's been planted, but Skadoodle is going to put down Surreal. And then Ape, he is on fire right now. The spray is going to come through from Android, but he's going to have to go a couple better here, I feel, if the Terrorists want any chance of this round. Automatic won't allow him to do that. And now it's up to Def again with his AWP.
The molly goes out.
Flash is going to wreck him.
Oh, onto the lower ramp, and Automatic is going to play cover. Oh, yeah, actually picked a really good spot just to hide for a moment. I mean, if he hid too long, that's a tough spot to play, because if he hid too long, nothing just dies simply. But then if he gets his opponent to peek out wide enough and then peek right after, like, easy frag, right, baits him into it. And I guess basically just has to peek and unpeek constantly. Ended up doing that, gets the kill in the 2v1. Good retake from Ska, a couple of op frags and an afterplant situation, not easy to come by.
12-2. Complexity also have arguably the better side for Cloud9 coming up. Surreal takes a picture of Stewie with the AWP. We've seen Complexity get the opening picks before and being able to do a great deal. They've only got a smoke and a Molotov to play as well, so it was so crucial that they did get the opening pick, but what are they going to do about this? 21-5 Automatic, Skadoodle just behind him on 15. Complexity are going to get aggressed on from Automatic on Team A. No one's home. This is vital information, because at the same time Shroud was pushing up Ivy, so they know this is going to be a B hit now. And so you're expecting to see the likes of Automatic rotate through the back of the bathrooms. Nothing stopping that plant for a few more seconds. You can hear the ticks of the molly doing serious damage as nothing gets a second one. That could be honestly good enough for Cloud9 now to secure this round.
Oh, he actually just saw an opponent rip pencil.
Yeah, good call. He would have called that to Shroud, I'm sure. And Shroud will pick up the pieces. How does Surreal get the better of Skadoodle there? It may not end up mattering, because Automatic's lurk and his flank has proved fruitful. Android, who's had a really rough time of it so far, trying to face off in a 1v2. Doesn't have the bomb planted, but has it in his hands. And does have a molly as well. And
they're keeping Android guessing. They've moved into new spots. They realize they can't be watching everything. Shroud might get killed right here, and then backs up right into Automatic, who didn't just play it too safe. And you know, that's just that confidence seeping in. 23-5. How does this man do it? How does he keep doing this? How? How's he got so good? How?
And I actually feel like his T side is way better than the CT side, because he is so aggressive.
Yeah, he's sick on T side.
He's one of the best players, I actually think, on T side in the world.
He used to play super slowly in a lurk role as well, and he was always smart enough to do that, but seems to be just happy to move as quick as Stewie, for example. And yeah, wow, unbelievable. I just don't understand how he does these. How he's been having these outstanding performances, such a meteoric rise to the top, and consistently, even in these games that just don't have as much weight as like these lands, which I guess must be harder to frag out in. But yeah, incredible consistency coming out of nowhere.
He's a guy that has certainly been proving his worth throughout these last couple of months.
You know, I actually did an interview with Stewie. I guess we're on the pistol. No, Nantico. I'll save this story for Nantico.
2 mollies in play for Cloud9. And they are going to be moving on to the B side. One of the mollies has just been expended, but Android in mid-air plucks out nothing. The bomb gets tossed across the other side of the site. So it's going to take them a couple seconds to retrieve that. It's also out in the opens. This is where the USPs from the catwalk side of the defense can really do some serious work, as Ape tries to shoot Android in the backside.
This is about to get really weird. I don't know if they're going to watch flanks at this moment, but they've got to notice. Yeah, they've got to know. Like, people are missing. They've all rotated
and Stewie are coming back round from CT.
They should make noise in the B site, though.
Oh, Stewie's down.
That was good. I mean, that was really good from Surreal. Got a great spot.
Well, hold on a second here, because this round isn't over just yet. Automatics landed a headshot alongside Shroud, 3-on-2. Automatics very low, but there's the second frag, and Shroud comes in with one as well. Cloud9, this could very well just straight up secure this map. Complexity desperately hanging on to this pistol. But Surreal has 2 players to find and kill. There's the first one. He's got a kill in a smoke, so he could maybe make this work, but Shroud is not moving and muscle off the site. He's going to stay here for the time being. Can hear the pitter-patter of footsteps just ahead of him to the left-hand side, of course. Now that Surreal is moving, he's not 100% sure on where this play is going to come from. Can Surreal land the headshot? He's still got time to play with. Oh, he misses out narrowly, but here comes the smoke. He's going to try and tickle out and bring Shroud out into the open and lands the headshot. Surreal with a beautiful clutch, and Complexity will take the second pistol. A 4K and a 1v2 clutch, I believe that was.
Sick. Yeah, just completely outplaying Shroud there, and I think Shroud assumed that he had maybe no kit and was sticking it because that was his last opportunity. Then Surreal just drops that smoke, plays it exactly how he should. Insane 4K, all headshots. Really good shot. All right, this is actually Android's first shot to kind of complete the ace, I guess, for Surreal, but everything else went extremely nicely. I've seen Shroud in that same situation. Remember on the outer site, somebody dropped the smoke and he like knifed in the smoke, but ended up living in that situation, and the situation was properly baited. So good recovery after almost blowing the entire pistol round.
Yeah, I think that was
Surreal.
a 4v2, wasn't it, with Automatic and Shroud? They nearly pulled off. So you can see the only player who has more kills and deaths is Surreal, but we already spoke about this. It's not necessarily the most important thing. We'll have a look at the ADR after this game for you guys. I'm assuming that Automatic is bossing that, the way he's been playing.
So here, the buy up, and it seems like this is a really strange buy. We got 2 AKs. Oh, okay, so we have Automatic and Shroud dropping for nothing and Stewie. This is great. I love this. This counter for. Oh wow, one of the AKs goes down. Wow, insane, dude. That was full HP.
You don't expect that kind of a push either, I guess.
MP9.
But Def is not just going to get the Frank, but the AK as well. Trades hands, is going to use that against the terrorists. And as cool as the buy was, it just simply hasn't paid off at all.
Yeah, not a chance. Not a chance. Not a chance. But I like the 2 people with head armor and then AKs, and the rest of people with just like their eco weapons, because sometimes 2 people can win you around, especially if you get 2 entries. And if you look at it that way, then it's much better to channel your funds into a couple of players as opposed to have weak weapons across the board, right? Everyone with a 40% chance to win a round, as opposed to 2 people with a 60% chance, or to win a gunfight.
Well, we'll relegate them and substitute them back to Glocks.
Okay, so this is the anti-eco. So I did an interview with Stewie at the MLG Major before anybody had even thought about like listing Automatic as a good player in NA. And he said that he thought Automatic was an up-and-coming player. That was the one name he mentioned. And then proceeded to, I think, hint at C9 Jack. We need Automatic. Please buy him.
What a decision that ended up being.
Yes.
A sublime choice. Has propelled Cloud9 to one of the best teams in the world. Certainly the best in NA. But speaking of them, they do have a smoke and a couple flashes to try and make the most of this. Incendiary thrown to stop the charge onto Def. This allows him to utilize the long range to his advantage and stop the plant as well. Nice work by Def. Of course, you're not expecting a great deal out of Cloud9 here. I like the idea. Hasn't worked. Complexity, and for the second consecutive round, do keep 5 players alive. So you can see that shown in their funds on their team. Even if they were to lose this, they'd have a full buy into the next one. They are going to keep 2 for masses. Not going to trade out for an AWP. And Cloud9 coming into this with 3 smokes and full AKs.
Yeah, not all the best. All the best resources. Automatic really hoping to get that plant, but Def was too aware. Put himself in a good spot to deny it. And is now the solo man inner. So we'll see how well he can fare. And a couple of AKs, a couple of FAMASes, but a really good job on the 2 anti-ecos. So they probably got a ton of money. 10 players left over 2 rounds. They saved 5 players each time. That's the best way to put that. And now Cloud9 are just kind of equally spread out across the map, waiting for pushes, making sure that Complexity don't feel like they can get away with anything. And nothing tried to cross safely there. I think he was actually swatted. Smoke comes out in response, which I think is not like nice for Cloud9. However, Complexity doing a great job of holding on to their incendiaries. They have 4 left over. That's a fantastic number for less than a minute left.
Especially not like Train. Can block off so many different angles.
Yeah, sometimes can be better than your smoke, for sure.
Bottlenecks. I'll have to see if that pays out in dividends, but Skadoodle is going to be joined by Nothing and Stewie. Oh, Android. If it's going to be a flash into a peak, this could get really messy real fast. There's so many players to watch out for. Any second now. Actually, it's going to be Raw peeking that and automatic with the kill. This is where the incendiaries could play such a pivotal role, but they've actually lost a couple of players before they could toss them out, and there's Ape going down. So for all we were talking about how Complexity were playing this round solidly, it's collapsed.
Yeah, and that's the value if your opponents have a lot of resources in walking out, because then they don't throw their incendiaries. But what was really strange was Android looking like he was waiting for a flash, and I think maybe Ape was on bomb train, like pulling out a grenade. So maybe he was going to flash for him. Either way, it was way too late because Android is basically staring at a wall for 4 seconds. So, you know, that stuff has to come, like that stuff has to be like instant. I need a flash now. It's because he needs a flash now. In 4 seconds from now, it's a whole different field. You have a whole different feeling about what's going on in T-Con. I don't know anymore if I want the flash, but if your team isn't working properly, then some of the stuff happens late. Who knows? Maybe Ape didn't think he was the one responsible because Android doesn't know who is the closest man to flash. He just needs a flash, right? And no one throws it, and then he dies and looks like a fool for looking at a wall.
Def using the smoke to his advantage for the time being. Oh, this position could prove to cost him his life. He's going to get tagged the one time, throwing the incendiary again. This will force back Cloud9, but honestly, that's a decent trade. Not only is it tag onto Def, it's forced out one of those crucial incendiary grenades, and Cloud9 expend nothing apart from a single bullet in the process.
That was so scary. Just like Cloud9 taking that angle so safely and then pre-firing Def. Like, what can you even do against that? You can't. There's nothing.
Now he has to play this one very carefully. Dean, he's actually gone onto the A side. They do have 2 players around connector, so they can easily rotate through back onto A if the time strikes them correctly. Here come the smokes. Is that going to be a full-on engage, or is this a fake? Judging from Shroud and Stewie's position, this seems to be a fake.
That smoke definitely awful. I'm not sure if it blooms on both sides at half. I'm not sure, but looks like it missed by a little bit. Either way, posturing for an inner take. Ape, the man down here. Surreal to assist. And Ape pushed in an awkward spot, but still comes away with the frag. Good kills by him. 3v4. And Complexity definitely have the advantage right now.
I'm not sure about this tactic at all from Cloud9, but we'll get onto that in a second, as Complexity still have a site to retake, and Cloud9, purely off the basis of how talented these remaining 3 players are, could still clutch this out of the jaws of defeat. And it certainly is looking likely that Complexity will take it. But that flash is so on point. As Stewie goes out looking, lands the headshot, Nothing. He's going to chime in for a frag as well. And here comes Skadoodle. Oh my goodness, Cloud9. Surreal very nearly lands the AWP shot, but just narrowly misses out and dies. I've got to say, the amount of times that Cloud9, like, make a poor decision or it doesn't quite execute correctly but get dug out by just nutty plays is unreal. Like,
what'd they do?
That strat, they go for the couple smokes, one of which went off, as you said, and then they delay a push onto B site and they allow Complexity to have, I mean, Surreal gets the first pick there with the AWP.
Yeah, like on the A ramp, right? And it's like, why walk out so much, I guess, when you definitely have the advantage? Like, why not use your utility when you have the resource advantage? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it was just so odd to me to watch that, but well, Cloud9 are too good. Apparently, even when they make a small misstep, they're still just fine. One fun trade, Complexity trying to save this map with a real mixed baggage of weapons, but Ape through the smoke just completely clotheslines automatic.
Oh my gosh. Just hits him with the lawnmower.
Oh,
he like looked at him. He like looked at him. Exchanged glances.
Smashes his head in. Do Cloud9 realistically go for a buy here? I feel like there's no rush.
Yeah, they're definitely... I actually don't even know where Automatic was going with that. He had the bomb, and I think he was pushing it in Z.
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't fully aware of that.
Complexity trying to bring it back to a 7th round. At that point, we'll have a very healthy buy. Cloud9 can afford an AWP. 27-10. Lots of Complexity. Shroud is going to try and put that to rest, though, with the Deagle. Is being a nuisance, a pain in the backside. This is allowing his teammate of Nothing to relocate towards the E-box. He's just fine at the back of this train now, actually. And Dev could fancy his chances. He knows that Shroud is somewhere around Ivy's side. Goes for the spray lancer. This is where nothing, I thought, may peek out, but he's playing this time perfectly. Here comes the flash as well. Going to be holding on to this one. When does nothing peak? And there we go. 16-8. Cloud9 pick it up in a Tech9 bye. And Complexity will bite the dust and move through onto Cobblestone next.